Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed, like you're drowning in a storm you can't control? A storm of doubt, fear, or maybe just the chaos of everyday life. You look for a sign, any sign, that things will get better, that you're not alone. What if I told you there's a promise, etched in the sky, that speaks directly to that feeling? It's a story we think we know, but tonight, we're going to uncover the hidden depths of the rainbow, and I promise, you'll never look at one the same way again. Most of us know the basics. The world had grown dark, filled with corruption and noise that broke God's heart. So, a great flood was sent to wash the world clean. A man named Noah, his family, and a collection of every kind of animal were saved on a massive ark. They floated on a world covered by water, a world of silence except for the rain and the sounds from within their wooden refuge. Can you imagine the fear, the uncertainty? Day after day, floating on an endless ocean, with no land in sight. It must have felt like the world had ended, that they were the last remnants of a forgotten creation. The rain finally stopped, but the waiting didn't. For months, they were adrift. Every creak of the ark, every ripple in the water must have been a source of both hope and anxiety. Was it over? Would they ever stand on dry ground again? Noah sent out a raven, then a dove. The dove returned, finding no place to rest. The silence must have been deafening. This part of the story is crucial. It's the waiting in the dark, the period where faith is tested not by a sudden bang, but by a long, drawn-out quiet. It's a feeling many of us can relate to, waiting for a diagnosis, for a job offer, for a sign that a broken relationship can be mended. It's in this agonizing stillness that the real story begins. Finally, the dove returned with an olive leaf, hope, a tiny, green symbol that life was returning. And then, the waters receded, and the doors of the ark were opened. Imagine that first breath of fresh air, the feeling of solid ground beneath your feet after so long. The world was new, clean, and terrifyingly empty. Noah and his family were standing at the dawn of a new beginning. They built an altar, not out of obligation, but out of overwhelming gratitude. They had survived the impossible, and this is where the twist happens. This is the moment that changes everything. As Noah made his offering, God made a promise. Not just to Noah, but to all of creation for all time. He said, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans. And never again will I destroy all living creatures, as I have done." It was a declaration that his method of dealing with humanity had changed forever. He was choosing grace over judgment on a global scale. He was choosing relationship over reset. But how could humanity trust this promise? Words can be broken. How could Noah's children, and their children's children, look at a dark storm cloud and not be filled with terror, remembering the stories of the Great Flood? God knew this. He knew our human tendency to fear and to doubt. So, He didn't just speak the promise, He signed it. He painted it across the canvas of the sky. He said, "I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant." Stop and think about that. The rainbow isn't just for us. God says, "I will see it and I will remember." It's a divine reminder, a self-imposed check on His own power. But here's the most powerful, often overlooked detail. In ancient times, what was a bow? It was a weapon of war. An archer aims their bow down towards their enemy on the ground. But look at the rainbow. Which way is it pointing? It's an arc, a bow turned upside down, pointing away from the earth and up towards the heavens. It's a weapon of war, disarmed and hung up in the sky. It is God declaring peace with humanity. He has literally aimed His weapon away from us, a symbol that His wrath has been satisfied and His grace now reigns. It transforms a symbol of destruction into the ultimate symbol of peace. Every time you see a rainbow, you are witnessing the signature of God's unbreakable promise. It's not just a pretty meteorological phenomenon, it's a covenant. It appears during the storm, or just as the storm is breaking. It's a burst of color in the middle of the gray. It's God's way of saying, "I know this is scary. I see the clouds and the rain, but remember my promise. The storm will not destroy you. I am with you, and I have made peace with you." This promise wasn't just for Noah. It echoes through time and finds its ultimate fulfillment in another story. Centuries later, God sent another promise of rescue, not in an ark of wood, But in the person of Jesus, He entered our storm, our brokenness, and on a cross, He absorbed the full force of the judgment we deserved. Just as the bow was turned away from the earth, the judgment of God was turned onto His own Son, so that we could be offered peace. The cross is the ultimate fulfillment of the rainbow's promise. So, the next time you feel like you're drowning, when the storms of life are raging and you feel forgotten, look for the rainbow. And even if you can't see one in the sky, remember what it represents. It's a promise that the storm doesn't have the final say. It's a reminder that God hangs His weapons of war up and offers peace. It's a covenant that says, "I will remember you, I will not abandon you. There is hope, there is a new beginning, and my grace is bigger than any storm you will ever face." The rainbow is God's eternal "I promise" to you. It's His signature of faithfulness, painted across the sky for all to see. Hold on to that. Let it be the anchor for your soul in the midst of the flood. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this story touched you, please share it with someone who might need to be reminded of this powerful promise. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the stories that shape our lives. We'll see you next time.